What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to talk about this debt ceiling, and we're going to talk about fake outrage. So you have politicians right now that are talking about they can't believe that we've waited this long and we need to act, and they're blaming the White House, and then the White House is blaming lawmakers, and it's just kind of going back and forth. And this is not unusual. This is the way our lawmakers handle business or don't handle business in this situation. And so we're going to talk a little bit about this and how destructive this is for the American people. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And also just a reminder, if you're not getting notified when I post videos, let me know in the comments below, and follow me on Twitter at the TEC Show Live. Okay, so let me show you this clip first. And this is Senator Mitt Romney, and he's talking about this whole debt ceiling debate, and he's very disappointed. So let me play the clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
I'm frankly a little appalled that the leadership in the White House has not taken this seriously enough to sit down and negotiate in good faith. We're in May now, all right? We got to move. And it's simply unacceptable for people to begin to worry whether they're going to get Social Security checks.
Okay, so that was Mitt Romney. Now, you know what? I just listened to it again, and maybe he was saying he's upset with leadership and the White House. It almost sounds like he was saying leadership and the White House, or he could have been saying leadership in the White House. So let me play it one more time. I just want to hear it again just to make sure.
I'm frankly a little appalled that the leadership in the White House has not taken this seriously enough.
Okay, so it did sound like he said leadership and the White House. So I would agree with him. This is one of the situations where we don't have time to waste. However, when it comes to the Senate, when it comes to senators, they can put up their own proposals. So the House, they already passed the bill. They passed the raising the debt ceiling, but major cuts. So the Senate, they can put a bill together. Senator Mitt Romney, he can put a bill together, and if he really wants to get something to pass, he can work in a bipartisan fashion to try to get a bill passed. And so that's the only way out. When it comes to the White House right now, and I hear a lot of talk about the White House, and we need to negotiate with the president and this and that. When it comes down to it, it has to start in the House and the Senate, because it has to pass both of those chambers before it goes to the White House. Now, I understand when it comes to the president, you want to know if the president is on board for whatever you're trying to pass. I get that. But that doesn't take major negotiation. The major negotiation needs to happen within the House and the Senate. And then let the president know, hey, this is what we're planning on doing. Are you okay with that? And that can easily be done by leadership in both the House and the Senate. We don't have to have all those formal meetings. Just like they were supposed to have a meeting on Friday, they didn't have the meeting on Friday. They don't even really need to have these meetings. They need to make sure that they have the votes in the House and the Senate, because that's what needs to pass. The president can't do anything if the bill doesn't get to his desk. And so that's why the focus should be on the Senate right now, because the House already passed their bill. They're sticking to their bill. They're not going to make any changes as of right now. So it's up to the Senate to put something together. And even if it's a clean debt ceiling, and maybe that's the way that they should go about this, clean debt ceiling with these other concessions, and go about it that way. And those concessions can be future talks when it comes to the budget. But they definitely need to raise the debt ceiling. That's the major issue right now. They don't have time to waste, and I agree with Mitt Romney when he said that. There's no time to waste now, and they've been wasting too much time. The whole time, and you hear Speaker McCarthy coming out, and he continues to say this, I wanted to negotiate with the White House 90 days ago or 97 days ago or what have you. He knows he didn't need to do that. What he needs to do is he needs to get a bipartisan bill through the House and the Senate. The bill that they passed right now in the House, that's a partisan bill. You don't have any Democrats supporting that, so it's not going to pass when it comes to the Senate. And he knows that. He knows that. Speaker McCarthy knows that, but he passed it anyway. And he's not being an honest broker on his half, because he knows he's passing something that's not going to go anywhere. And then he's just going to throw his hands up in the air and say, I did something. Now you guys need to do something. That's not how things should work. He should actually be working with the Senate. He should be working with Democrats in the House to pass a bill that has a chance to pass in the Senate. And so right now, things are not looking good when it comes to raising the debt ceiling. However, Treasury Secretary Yellen says that they have some different things that they can do in order to pay our bills.
And just to game that out further, so where do bondholders fit in terms of the prioritization of who gets paid in a technical default? Do they get prioritized, or is it just about paying the bills as soon as the money comes in?
Well, you know, I would say that if Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling, the president will have to make some decisions about what to do with the resources that we do have. And there are a variety of different options, but there are no good options. Every option is a bad option. And I really don't want to get into discussing them and ranking them because, as every Treasury Secretary has known, the only option that really leaves our economy in good shape is, and our financial system, is raising the debt ceiling and making clear that Congress stands behind the basic principle that America pays its bills. We're not a deadbeat country. Yeah. And if that's compromised, even in the run-up to it, if it looks like we're going to go up against the ceiling and may not get it done, that will have tremendously adverse effects on financial markets and the economy. So there just is no good option other than raising the debt ceiling.
So we're going to have to find out what those are. She didn't want to let us know exactly the plan of action or what they want to do when it comes to raising the debt ceiling or when it comes to paying bills. I won't even say raising the debt ceiling, because if they don't raise the debt ceiling, Treasury Secretary Yellen says there's some other measures that they can take. And so we'll have to see what some of those other measures are. One of the talks right now is the invoking the 14th Amendment. And so part of the 14th Amendment says that you need to pay your bills, essentially. And so that could be invoked. And if that's invoked, then I'm sure that that would go all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they'd have to rule on that, because when it comes to the purse, when it comes to money, it has to come from Congress. And that's the whole issue right now. And that's why I think that the fact that they're talking about the budget and the debt ceiling and raising the debt ceiling if we create a budget and putting that together, it's silly. It really is silly. And the reason why it's silly is because Congress controls the money anyway. So Speaker McCarthy, you have control of the purse right now. And so if you have control of the purse, you can determine how much money is going to be spent every year, as long as you're the speaker. And so why are we having this big discussion about, well, we need to make this cut, that cut? You can do it on your own. All you need to do is just not appropriate that money to go to these different agencies. If you do that, then problem solved. You don't have to create this big ordeal when it comes to the budget. And when it's time to actually pass a budget, you can pass a budget in September, because that's what lawmakers always do. They pass the budget in September, or they'll kick the can down the road until December, and then they'll pass the budget in December. You have control of the budget. You have control of the spending. So why is it we're so focused on this right now? I think the major reason why we're so focused on this right now is it's just a political game. That's all it is. And Speaker McCarthy's trying to use his power to say, okay, look, we're going to raise the debt ceiling, but if you don't meet our demands, then I'm just going to let the government default, because that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that he's going to let it default if you can't put them together. So I'll continue to follow the story. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification. But things are not looking good. They really aren't. Hopefully things will look better next week, but right now it's not looking good. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them down below. Happy Mother's Day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.